Okay, so today I'm going to explain about synchronization task and the replication task. Okay, go to the folder, click on new in the task. I'm going to select second one is the synchronization task. So basically, the synchronization task is going to be used to synchronize the data between source and target. So when we wanted to integrate between the applications or integrate the data between the databases or in the files. Okay, so this synchronization task, this is one task when we execute automatically it will load the data from source to target. Okay, because when we create a mapping, so inside the mapping where we'll be having a source component, target component, and transformation component, like we can define the logics, right? If at all we don't have any transformation logics, we just need to sync up the data between source to target. Then synchronization task is the easy one, which is going to help us to sync the data between source to target. Okay, now go to synchronization task, click on create. Now in the synchronization task, there are 6 different sections are there. Okay, the first section is we have to define the name of the synchronization task. Okay, so now the naming standard for that is DSS underscore the task name that we have to give. DSS is the naming standard. DSS underscore folder name, project folder name underscore. Let's say I'm giving EMP. Now the task operation. What kind of operation has to be done here? Okay, now let me open SQL developer in the meantime. Okay, what kind of operation we have to do it here? Insert operation, only insert or update or upset or delete. So what kind of operation that we want, all these 4 operations that we can do it here. Okay, now, so we basically, right, so upset is the suggested advisable option here in synchronization task, because so when we put insert, it will do only the insert, it will not verify whether the record is already exists in the table or not. Okay, so that's why we have to always, it is advisable to go with the update insert, so that if record does not exist based on a primary key column, if record does not exist, it will insert. If record is already exist, then it will do an update. Okay, so let me create a table for this activity, sorry, for this task separately. Select name, number, address from EMP. Okay, I'm just creating one source table, and in the target table, so I just okay, I have created 2 tables. So one is EMP underscore DSS is for source table, and EMP DSS underscore TGT is for target table. Okay, so with this I can show you how you can sync up the data. So as I mentioned, it is always advisable to go with upset option, right? Now click on next. Now we have to configure the source part. Now when we have to configure the source part, so we have to select the respective connection. So any source that we can use it here. So basically this is going to be used for the database purposes. Okay, so it will be always advisable to go with the database. Okay, let's say I'm using Oracle system database. Now when we select it, so in the source type you have three options: single, multiple, and saved query. Okay, so source type is single. We are going to read the data from only single object. So source query is like, we have multiple tables to join, and to get the data we have to go with the multiple option. Otherwise we have to go with the saved query option. Okay, so for now I'm going with single. In the drop down or in the select, we can select the respective source table name. mb underscore dss is the source table that I'm selecting it. Okay, so when at the moment when we select the table, automatically the preview will be coming up. Okay, so preview of few rows will be coming up. Here we do also have an option of showing all the columns or few columns. See, because the screen will be having only this much space. So ideally, how many columns will be fit into this particular space? In real time, we'll be having 50 columns or 20 columns or 100 columns, right? So how many columns will be fitted here? So those many only we'll see. But if at all we are going to select this preview all columns, it is going to show all the columns. Then see, the moment we click on preview all the columns, there is an CSV file is generated with the data, whatever the data which is available here. With that, the CSV file is getting generated. We can see the data here.
So, Bhaskar, CSV file is automatically created, or you have clicked something?
No, no. So when I select this particular option, preview all columns.
Okay.
When I select this preview all columns, like this is CSV file is generated.
Okay.
You have to configure the target. DSS target. Okay. Now here also it will show the preview. Okay. So now we have selected the source, we have selected the target. Then click on next. Okay, so here we have a data filters. So do we need to put any, do we need to apply any filter? Okay, so from which table we have to apply a filter? So filter by which column equals to what value? Or we can click on this advanced where we can write additional, where we can write specific filter condition. Okay, if at all we wanted to apply any filter here, so we can apply here by clicking on this new option. Okay, so for testing purpose, we can process only first few rows, or we can process all the rows. This is up to us. Based on the requirement, we will have to select this option in the data filters. So we have option of writing a data filter. Then the field mapping. If column names are same exactly, then it will automatically map it. So here we can do concatenation. Okay, and we can do, we can write some expressions here. So for every column, that we can write some expressions here. Okay, so that's why it is showing expression slash lookup. Okay, we can do an unconnected lookup. Yeah, this is also one of the concepts which I missed. I'll explain that. Name, number, address we can just drag and drop here so that it will automatically connect. Otherwise, if the column names are same, it will automatically connect. Okay, so we have an option of here, validate the mapping. We can validate it. So we have a concept of maplet. If any maplet that we wanted to use in between this source and target, we can go with it. Now click on next. The schedule options. If at all we have any schedule options, we can schedule here. Or if at all we wanted to pass any values from the parameter file, we can pass the values from the parameter file, like connection names. Then finish. Now the data sync task is created. Now when I execute this,
So, Bhaskar, maplet, what is meaning of maplet? What is
I'll explain. I'll explain. That is one more concept which is there. Maplet is kind of a set of reusable components into a single. See now, so this table was just created. It did not have any data. See there are 4 records loaded. Okay, let's say if I do some change here, some update to any of the table, or any of the record. Okay, I just updated to Pune, this address. Now let me run. So again, 4 records processed because all the data read from source, all the data loaded into the target. So since we have selected option of update upset option, okay, what it is doing. So if record does not exist, if record does not exist, it will do an insert. If record is already exist, it will do an update.
So
Okay.
this is one kind of incremental load we are doing, right?
No, it's not incremental load. It is kind of it is full load only because we are not defining anywhere that to pick only the latest data or to pick only this particular data. But so if at all we don't have any transformation logics, okay, so we just have only we just need to sync the data between source and target. It's kind of one-to-one mappings. Okay, so in case of one-to-one mappings, instead of going with a mapping, we will go with the synchronization task. But even right in real time works, so people are not accepting this synchronization task and all because if at all in future if we wanted to add any transformation logic or something, then it will be again we will have to rebuild the entire mapping. So that's why people are, even though it is a very good option, but still people are not choosing this option when they have to create one-to-one mappings. This is something that you will have to learn only for your interview purposes. Okay, any questions?
Bhaskar.